everybody. It's Chad and
Emily.
Coming at you from the greenhouse today. Stay tuned. Today is July 23rd. It's Tuesday. It was our day off, though every day is a day off for Emily at this point because we went to the doctor today and, oh yeah, which one's bigger? I don't know. That's pretty big. So we wanted to start this week off with a contest. Emily and I don't know the sex of the gender of the baby. Do you know? I don't know. She doesn't know. But if you guess the gender of the baby as well as
Weight.
the weight,
Closest. We're all
closest.
about weights.
Yes, that's right. Closest to the weight. Price is Right method or just closest?
Price is Right method.
Price is Right. So
The
you have
nearest
to be,
ounce.
nearest ounce. If you're over, you're over. If you guess gender and weight and you're the closest, you'll win a 1783 seed, which should be pretty popular next year. So comment below, guess the
Give
sex and the weight. Here's your comparison. Next Tuesday. So the C-Sec is scheduled next Tuesday. We will have a baby today, next week at 7:45 in the morning or so. So wish us luck with that. But on to the pumpkins. So while Emily's putting the kiddos to bed, I am going to give you just a quick rundown, very quick video, very quick, no rambling. It's been a good week as far as pumpkin growth. It hasn't been a great week. It has been super smoky and super cold. In the last 36 hours, we've had 4.5 inches of rain. And with rain has come lots of clouds, temperatures in the low 40s. And to top it off, it's Canada is on fire and it's super smoky. So we're getting not a whole heck of a lot of sun. So not ideal giant pumpkin growing conditions. But despite that, the pumpkins are still growing quite well. Let me flip you around and we'll talk about them. Here we go in the back plant. Our 4 pumpkins are looking pretty good, actually. Not too shabby at all, I would say. These are probably over 100 pounds. These two are maybe, 60, 70 pounds. It's pretty interesting that this pumpkin right here in front of this pumpkin is probably double the size of this one, just eyeballing it. And then the one back here is probably double the size of those two. So, I was wondering if location on the plant would correlate to bigger pumpkin or not. And it doesn't really seem so, nor does it seem secondary vine versus main vine. This would be really interesting, like data, if you could get scientific on it and correlate that to things and stuff and data. But just the layman's observations are pretty interesting. That again, main vine doesn't matter as compared to secondary vine, as well as before or after a fruit. Doesn't seem to matter not. So that's pretty interesting. So here's the wolf plant. A little bit of weed problem, but we just pulled some. Emily's helping me, and it looks pretty darn good. Appleberry is doing quite well. It has averaged 34 pounds per day and is 598 pounds. I have had to constantly crank Appleberry back just because of how it's wanting to grow. It's growing very wide. So I've had to keep on cranking it back to keep that main vine from getting a kink in it, putting pressure on the stem and pulling it down. This one has had some really big days, but again, the cold, the clouds, the rain have really made my gains this week just kind of up and down and all over the place. But I really like the shape of this one. We were talking about this, Emily and I haven't done a whole lot of that this year. If I'm being honest, I don't like the way this one thumps. It thumps a little hollow. I can feel the reverberation from the top on the side of my leg, but Hopefully I'm wrong. Appleberry doing very good. Boy is looking pretty darn awesome. I love that shape. I love that color. I had to crank him back today as well. And I was having a hard time with his T-post, so I'd kind of get some tension on the come along, and then I'd have to yank the T-post back. Cowboy is 877 pounds today. I think it's 42 days old. And it's doing 38 pounds per day, which is the exact same as 38 pounds per day last week. So that's pretty interesting. It's very consistent. I was doing a Brad Bledsoe, and I did a few days again on this one as well, where I was quickly measuring every day just to see if there was big differences from, Monday to Tuesday or Tuesday to Wednesday. And this pumpkin did too. I can assure you it had days that were much bigger than 38 pounds, and it had days that were a lot smaller than 38 pounds per day. So, hopefully, and I know we have some good weather on the horizon, knock on wood. Hopefully that smoke blows away and we can get some consistent big gains. But how does this compare to last year? Good question. My laptop's over there. Let's go. Or rather, how do these compare to my state record pumpkin, the 1783? Well, they're both well ahead of the state record pace, so that's pretty darn cool. And the thing that I'm most excited about is just the plants as a whole. Knock on so much wood. Look healthy. I don't have any major problems, knock on wood. And as of right now, like these leaves, I splashed some pH adjusting solution on these leaves. But other than that, just kind of normal wear and tear on the leaves. The canopy looks pretty darn good. I've been on top of my fungicides. If you watch the fall tips video or the mid-season tips video, I'm on top of my spraying. I have to do a mite-aside treatment today. Fungicides, powdery mildew, knock on wood, all of that is kind of non-existent at the moment. So yeah, doing pretty good. If I can keep these gains going, then I'll be in pretty good shape for that omnipresent 2,000 pound goal. I am not as concerned about getting 50 pound per day gains or things like that. I'm playing the long game. I am the tortoise to Brad Bledsoe's hare. I want long, consistent gains. I'll take 38 pounds a week for another 4 or 5 weeks, and I will be perfectly happy with that. And then I can have a gradual slowdown in September. So that's my plan. That's the goal. Fingers crossed we'll get there. If you have any questions, comment below. We'll catch you next week. Well, actually, next week, I don't know. I don't know what we'll be doing next Tuesday because we're having a baby next Tuesday. So there might not be an update, but we'll figure something out. So get out there, grow yourself a giant pumpkin, and we'll talk to you next week with a new baby.